Your utensil drawer is likely packed with gadgets that claim to fix all your culinary shortcomings but end up doing nothing well. We buy these multi-purpose tools hoping they will save us time, yet we end up with bruised herbs and unevenly cooked meals. The problem is not your skill, it is the design philosophy. In Japanese kitchens, the approach is different. Take the Otoshibuta, a drop lid that sits directly on your simmering food. It does not look like much, but it is used to keep ingredients submerged, distribute heat evenly, and reduce evaporation. This is just one of 15 designs. If your kitchen setup is indeed as cluttered as average statistics suggest, that prioritize a single action over bloated functionality. Once you see the specific geometry behind these tools, you will understand why your current gear may be working against you. Let us look at how these items can refine your workflow. Think about the last time you tried to delicately flip a piece of fish in a hot pan. You probably reached for metal tongs or a kitchen fork. But as soon as you leaned in, the heat hit your face and the bulky tips of the tongs tore through the tender flesh. That common frustration is addressed by the first tool on our list, the saibashi. These are not your average takeout chopsticks. At 30 centimeters long, they are designed to keep hands at a safe distance from heat and oil, acting as high-precision extensions of your fingers. They allow you to manipulate ingredients with a surgical touch while keeping your hands safely away from the searing oil. You stop fighting the physics of your kitchen tools and start treating every ingredient with the care it deserves. Number 2. Consider what that grain damage actually costs you over time. If every serving session with a rigid metal spoon crushes a portion of your rice into a gummy, unappetizing mass, you're not just losing texture, you're losing usable food. Multiply that across dozens of meals, and the waste accumulates into something measurable in both ingredients and money spent on rice that never reached the table in edible form. The shimoji exists as a tool designed to lift and fold rather than press and drag, helping to preserve the integrity of each grain from the first scoop to the last. Using the wrong utensil is a recurring tax on every meal you prepare. The question is, how many other tools in your kitchen are quietly collecting that same hidden toll? Number 3. Even if the rice is perfect, your soup might be letting you down. You have probably tried to dissolve miso paste in hot broth using a spoon, only to find stubborn, gritty clumps floating on the surface. This is where the miso koshi comes in. This fine mesh tool is used to dissolve miso paste into broth, preventing clumps and ensuring a smooth, clean texture. You simply place the miso inside the mesh, submerge it, and work it through until it completely vanishes into the liquid. The result is a clean, velvety broth every time, but having a perfectly smooth broth is useless if you cannot manage the heat. That brings us to number 4, the Yukihira Nabe. You might look at this thin, dimpled metal saucepan and think it is flimsy, but that lack of heavy cladding is exactly what makes it a precision instrument. Western pans are often designed with thick bases to retain heat, but that delay can be a challenge for delicate stocks. The Yukihira Nabe is constructed from thin metal to allow for rapid temperature responsiveness, which is critical for precise boiling and reduction. When you need to stop a simmer or trigger a rapid reduction, the pan reacts quickly. Without this agility, you're always fighting the thermal lag of your cookware. If your pan reacts quickly, you still risk ruining delicate aromatics with the wrong processing method. This brings us to number 5, the ceramic grater. Most of us are used to metal box graters that tear through ginger or garlic. This approach can leave your ingredients bruised, stringy, and stripped of the very oils that provide deep flavor. In contrast, the Suribachi-style ceramic grater features a ridged interior designed to mechanically tear and crush ingredients more efficiently than a smooth surface. It grinds the cell walls down into a fine paste that releases aromatic juice directly back into the dish. You gain complete flavor control without the bitter waste of traditional metal grating. Number 6. If you have ever tried to fold a delicate, multi-layered omelet in a standard round French pan, you know the frustration of chasing sliding curds against a curved surface. Your eggs inevitably end up with uneven thickness and ragged, broken edges. That is exactly why the rectangular tamagoyaki pan exists. Its rectangular shape is specifically engineered to constrain egg mixtures into uniform layers during the folding process. Instead of fighting gravity and the pan's shape, the wall acts as a guide to fold uniform, stacked layers that hold their structural integrity through every turn. You're not just cooking eggs, you're constructing a precise, symmetrical roll that relies entirely on these geometric boundaries. Even if your eggs are perfectly stacked, your masterpiece can still be ruined in seconds if your broth turns cloudy. Number 7 on our list is the fine mesh skimmer, the silent guardian of dashi and stocks. When you simmer ingredients, proteins and impurities inevitably rise to the surface as foam. In a typical kitchen, most people ignore this or try to scoop it away with a bulky spoon, which ends up wasting precious liquid. The fine mesh skimmer is designed with a specific density that catches these microscopic solids without removing the flavorful oils. By stripping away that muddy, bitter scum, you reveal the true, clean flavor profile of your base. While the skimmer guards your flavor, the donabe transforms the very nature of the cooking process. Number 8 is the donabe, a traditional earthenware pot that does something most modern cookware fails to accomplish. Because of the high thermal mass and unique properties of the clay, it holds onto a lot of heat, helping distribute it evenly across the ingredients inside. It creates a stable, gentle environment that prevents harsh boiling and keeps your food perfectly tender for long periods. You can pull this pot directly from the burner and place it on the dinner table to serve, where it continues to cook and stay warm for the entire meal. It turns a standard dinner into a consistent communal experience. That transition from burner to table is a significant shift, but even the most perfectly cooked rice can become a nightmare when you try to shape it by hand. Number 9 on our list is the simple onigiri mold. If you have ever tried to sculpt sticky rice into perfect restaurant-quality triangles, you know the frustration of having grains plastered to your hands and uneven proportions that just fall apart. The Japanese onigiri mold solves this by using a rigid, non-stick geometry that compresses the rice into uniform shapes with consistent density. You simply fill the mold, apply pressure, and pop out a professional result every time without the sticky mess. It turns a messy manual chore into a quick, hygienic, and perfectly portioned task. Number 10. If molding your rice into perfect shapes is about consistency, the real battle happens when you move from solids to liquids with the bamboo matcha chasen. You might assume a standard metal kitchen whisk will do the job, but that is how you end up with gritty, half-dissolved clumps at the bottom of your bowl. A metal whisk lacks the specific design required to properly aerate fine matcha powder. The bamboo chasen is designed to aerate matcha powder into a suspension, achieving a smoother consistency than metal whisks or spoons. It forces air into the mixture while the friction of the bamboo tines breaks down every stubborn clump. Without it, you're just swirling liquid. If the whisk masters the texture of your drink, what about the structural challenge of a crispy exterior with a molten center? Most home cooks attempt a snack like takoyaki in a flat frying pan, which results in flat, shapeless blobs that lack any cohesive crust. The takoyaki pan solves this by utilizing hemispherical depressions as individual molding chambers. These molds constrain the batter as it cooks, helping it form a round shape, while the metal surface ensures an even golden brown crust forms simultaneously around the entire circumference. Without this specific curved geometry, you simply cannot achieve that balance where the outside snaps, but the center remains impossibly creamy. Number 12. Even with perfectly molded spheres, you still face the struggle of assembling a balanced bowl without the ingredients sliding away. This is where the oyakodon pan changes the game. It is a small, shallow, and specifically diametered vessel that acts as both a cooking surface and a serving tool. Because it is sized to fit a single portion of chicken and egg directly over a bowl of rice, the pan allows you to gently slide the entire perfectly set mixture onto the starch without breaking the delicate coagulation of the egg. In a wider, flatter Western skillet, the protein and egg would inevitably scatter. With this specialized compact geometry, you maintain complete structural integrity from burner to rice. Number 13. If you thought sliding a delicate egg was the biggest hurdle, wait until you see what happens when you try to turn sesame seeds into a paste with a standard mortar and pestle. Most Western bowls have smooth interiors that simply push your ingredients around in a game of cat and mouse. You end up chasing seeds across the ceramic while never actually breaking them down. Enter the suribachi. The genius here lies in its interior, which features a ridged interior designed to mechanically tear and crush ingredients like sesame seeds and spices, more efficiently than a smooth bowl. It turns whole spices into a fragrant, uniform pulp in seconds. Number 14. What if you aren't trying to grind your ingredients into a paste, but rather keep them perfectly intact while they simmer? Most Western lids are too large, trapping steam high above the pan and causing uneven cooking that turns delicate ingredients into mush. This is where the Otoshibuta changes the game. It is a drop lid that sits directly on food during simmering to keep ingredients submerged, distribute heat evenly, and reduce evaporation. By pressing down on the ingredients, it forces the braising liquid to circulate rapidly underneath. This constant flow ensures that heat is distributed evenly while preventing your food from bouncing around and breaking apart. It is a masterclass in direct contact, ensuring your simmer is always controlled. Number 15. Look at what happens when you pull all of these tools together. We have moved from simple bamboo fibers to ceramic ridges and precision pans. You might think this collection is just about adding more gadgets to your drawers, but the reality is the exact opposite. Every single tool we have explored uses a specific, calculated geometry to solve a physical problem in the kitchen. They do not rely on electricity or complex mechanics. They rely on the way shape interacts with ingredients. Once you start picking tools based on how they physically influence your food, you stop fighting your ingredients and finally start working with them. Knowing this turns you into the home cook who can walk into any kitchen store, ignore the cluttered gadget wall, and immediately spot the one tool that will actually change how your food turns out. We have gone through 15 examples of how specific, intentional geometry can outperform expensive, multi-purpose hardware every single time. But the real frustration remains. So why do we still insist on buying tools that make our jobs harder?